right. My name is Hannah Gould. I am the yoga program director for Voice Colors Yoga, and I'm here speaking with Cindy Horgan. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you.
Hannah, nice to see you too.
So Cindy is an occupational therapist who took our 30-hour Yoga for Autism training a few years ago now, and we're just checking in. So Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about your OT practice? Specifically, what ages do you serve? What kind of services do you offer?
That's a great question that I can't even really answer in full detail at the moment. So Voice Colors Yoga was a part of a transition for me. I had worked in outpatient schools and then had spent about the past 11 years doing more pediatric, but in-home. So I moved, my family moved to a different state. We got real quiet with COVID, and it became an opportunity for me that I had been looking for of kind of shifting maybe a little bit more into, I'd always focus on the sensory, but I had a lot more motor focus before, and I really wanted to go more into wellness, mental health, emotional, love that sensory piece. And yoga for me had been transformative. And as an OT, I wanted to make sure that I could continue to work in the way that I wanted to, building up skills. So during COVID, I took your training, and I am in the next phase of how I get to use all of it.
Fantastic. I think our training has drawn a lot of people who are at an interesting sort of intersection of knowing they want to serve a particular population and having already tools they're drawing from and adding to the toolbox. So I love that. Yeah, I love that Voice Colors Yoga is a piece of that for you.
Very much, yes.
And I'm excited to see that you do use Voice Colors Yoga in your practice, at least I know with one family in particular. If you had somebody else coming in, how would you describe Voice Colors Yoga to them, to a family or client who might be interested?
You know, it's funny, we are throwing around a lot of words of calm, grounding, present moment. And I kind of laugh because I think from some of the students that I've worked with, what does that even mean? And when I say, what does that mean? That is very much a feeling inside of our bodies. Like, what does it feel like to be calm? So in order for individuals to be able to connect to these words, we have to create an experience. And to me, Voice Colors Yoga, I'm getting chills, is an experience. The breath, the movement, the twisting, the connection, whatever happens in that space as you're moving through the sequences is all of those words. You know, we know it's happening. It's the calm. It's that moment of quiet, of peace, of grounding. I know it's happening. I don't even know all the things that are happening, but I know that it is a gift to any nervous system to connect to themselves, to have that movement for wellness and mental health, whatever we want to use it for, but it is a place to find the experience of quiet and calm. So that is how I would define to a new client.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thanks.
And you know, some of our Voice Colors Yoga students are non-speaking or have profound communication challenges. So having an experience that doesn't rely on knowing what the word is or what the word means, it's a whole lot deeper than that. It really is an experiential practice.
Mm-hmm.
As an occupational therapist, how does Voice Colors Yoga support and enhance your work with your clients, those who you've used it with?
I think one of the most profound things for many clients is structure and predictability. So that can be, you know, autism, that can be the spectrum, that can be ADHD, that can be anxiety, that can be so much, right? And knowing what the expectations are can be so grounding for any individual. So that was one of the first things I fell in love with. I mean, if we have goals of motor planning, like I've always used yoga as a way to develop motor planning, crossing midline, bilateral coordination, but it is so, so cool for sensory. A forward fold, that vestibular input that you're getting for a child or an adult who craves proprioceptive input, like how can we use the wall for poses? How do we get on hands and knees? Can we add sensory input into the poses? Can we put a weighted blanket on for some of them? But the body is constantly feeding itself with sensory information every time we're moving and touching. So it is just an incredible tool for any OT goal. And then there's all the emotional piece, the regulation piece, the connection piece. It's really powerful.
Thank you. Yeah, great answer. And I love the occupational therapy language of feeding the body. I always think about, in my own movement practice, it sort of feels like nourishment from the inside out.
Yeah. Well, and in sensory integration, which was kind of like my foundation, that is the language that I know is looking and then thinking like what is the behavior saying? What is the need? What is that child looking for? Even as an adult, what am I looking for? Right. So thanks for noticing that.
Sure. So as you know, about a year and a half or almost a year ago, we were approved through AOTA, the Association of, or American Occupational
Therapy Association. Yep, I can help you with that.
I appreciate that. We were approved as a CEU provider, so our 30-hour training now does offer 30 contact hours for occupational therapists. Would you recommend our training to occupational therapists? Why?
So I feel like this is a really emotional answer. And the reason for that is that OTs have always had a commitment to the lifespan, right? And wellness is very, very much a part of our mission. And I will say that what I am finding is that there is this, OTs have always been a part of a family's life once the diagnosis is there. Like, I hope we've been there in really, really positive ways, but we've been a part of school and outpatient. I mean, and then all of a sudden, you get to a certain age and we're gone. And that to me was one of the, I didn't mention, but where we moved is right next to a college campus. And it's like, wait a minute, where are we? And then, taking the class and learning like what is happening to individuals with autism once they max out of services. And I was like, no, this is a part of our OT mission. This is a part of the lifespan. So yes, this is where we belong. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, we'd love to have more OTs take our training and join bringing Voice Colors Yoga out into the world. What do you think stands out as unique or particularly helpful or different about the Voice Colors Yoga approach?
One of the things, this is where I could where do I even begin? I talked about the structure, the visual structure, being able to see it and what that does from an anxiety piece of knowing the sequence, right? And then the colors have a meaning, and that's super empowering to somebody. Like, I can identify a standing pose as red. The ability to modify this. Hey, I think we're going to do this 2 times, and all I have to do is put my dry erase marker on that page. And today we're going to do this 2 times based on what I saw last time. And how do I want to modify this so that I can support you better? Because maybe plank to down dog was really, really hard. So can I use a video this time and like model it? Can I use the hands differently? I know for some of in doing the pose in real time, I've gone back and said, all right, when I do this particular pose, I'm going to use yellow hand and green hand. And then I'm going to guide through the color of how to do something with two different hands that aren't in sync, right? So one hand's down, one hand's up, yellow hand, green hand. Like, it just allows for empowering. It allows for success. It gives me as a therapist, you have given me all of the tools that I need in order to start. And then the social stories and all of that stuff is built in. And that's brilliant. And then it also is, I can add my sensory stuff however I want. And then, the client can pick. What do you want to teach? Like I have a student who teaches sometimes, like the autonomy, like there is so much. And the other thing that I love is less talking. So much less talking. So I could not keep that in 1 minute. There's so much.
That's okay. No, that's a beautiful answer. I love that. Thank you. Can you share a story about using voice colors yoga with a client of yours? Or a moment that stands out, an anecdote, a success, a challenge, whatever it may be.
Well, I one of the things that felt really empowering is that this is a new tool for me in my toolbox. And after a couple sessions with a client, the mom had said to me, I have to tell you that he went to his vocational job and was telling them about how he's doing yoga. And it was so different that they came back and told the mom, we heard all about this new girl who's coming to the house to do yoga. And that felt like, how long has he been waiting for this type of an experience? But for him to bring that out and that they noticed, oh, something's really different. He really likes this. That felt like, okay, let's just keep going. Whatever happens is we are off to a really great start.
Great. Yeah, you made an impact on him. Absolutely.
Likewise. He, what is a mutual impact.
And I
for something new, it just felt, sorry.
I was just gonna say I relate to that because all the students bring a lot to me as well.
Oh, yes.
Impact both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not just in that teaching role of, sharing information you have, they don't. You're really in a shared experience role. You're guiding, you're leading. As you said, more and more as they get used to the structure, they may start doing more of the guiding and leading. But in the moment, you're both breathing, you're both stretching, you're both feeling your hands on the floor, you're both grounding and calming. So it's a very meaningful shared experience. I feel that with my students as well.
Absolutely. And, for the OTs too, who speak co-regulation, right? And have maybe studied a little attachment theory, but that co-regulation piece is so critical. Right. That's where all the listening comes in and the engagement comes in. And you really do feel that in this practice. You can also really feel when you aren't there. Right. And then you have this tool to get you back.
Yeah. And I love, what you shared about the green hand, yellow hand, because our whole intention in putting this curriculum, this toolbox out there is that it gives just enough structure to keep everybody contained and safe and knowing what's expected and how to move on and what's next. But it also allows teachers, therapists, and students a lot of freedom and a lot of room to play.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Voice Colors Yoga is playful. It's a celebration of who we are. It's a celebration of what we can do with our bodies. And it's a very joyful practice. So I wonder, before we say goodbye, if you'd like to do a little yoga together, if you have a Voice Colors yoga page that you would like to experience together.
So I do, and this is one of my favorites. I guess it would be considered simple, maybe, but I find this one to be so profound because it's that shift from talking to really kind of feeling. Yeah. And I tend to do this one in the beginning as a gift to myself to get into that space. But it never, the quieting of the mind and that like before and after is never lost on me. Mm-hmm. How much racing goes on, and then like what it means to be embodied from just, 2 to 3 minutes, and how easy it is to ignore that all day long. So
yeah, so let's do it. Let's give anybody watching a little bit of a experience. I'm going to switch my video here for a second. You can stay where you are and sit comfortably. So this page right here is called Sitting Hands to Heart Flow. You could do it sitting crisscross like the picture, or you could do it sitting in a chair. We're going to breathe in, circle our arms all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart, 6 times. And then we'll place our hands on our hearts and bellies. So if you are sitting in a chair, I encourage you to plant both feet on the floor. Sitting up tall, relaxed shoulders. Here we go. We're going to breathe in, make a big circle. All the way up until palms touch, and breathe out. Hands to heart. 5 more. Breathe in. And out. 4. 3. 2. 1 more. Big circle, big breath in. And breathing out, hands to heart. And for this last picture here, we can put 1 hand on our heart, 1 hand on our belly. Our heart hand can help us sit tall. Lift heart up. And our belly hand can help us feel breathing. Let's breathe big. Nice. 2 more times. Feel your body fill up. Breathe in. And let go. Breathe out. 1 more. And if that feels good, feel free to close your eyes if you're at home and keep doing this heart and belly breath as long as you like. But Cindy, I think we're going to say goodbye. Since it's yoga, I'm going to bow and say namaste. And thank you so much for the wonderful work you're doing with OT, with Voice Colors Yoga, bringing it out into the world. And thank you for taking the time to chat today.
Oh, Hannah, thank you so much. I am just so proud of what you are all doing. So thank you.
Likewise. All right, the video.